Welcome back, patreon.com/, the Derrick Lamon Experience, as well as YouTube and Instagram. I just wanted to share something. It's a pretty long list, so I'm not going to share the entire thing. But my therapist sent me this last night. Shout out to Barb. She is the best. I'm so thankful to have her, helping me on my journey. This is not an ad, but if you're looking for therapy, I would definitely recommend that you check out betterhelp.com. That's where I go for my therapy. They match me with Barb, and she's been absolutely incredible. So check that out. Again, this is not an ad. So she sent me this last night. 33 very good reminders for when you're feeling lonely. Now, again, there's 33 of them, so I'm not going to read all of them. I will post them on Patreon. I will make them public so you don't have to be a subscriber to see them. If you're watching this on YouTube, the Patreon link is in the video details, and if you're viewing this on Instagram, in the link tree in the bio, you can also find the Patreon link as well. So anyway, this comes from wondermind.com, by the way. There are so many reasons why you might feel lonely. Maybe you're physically alone, or a lot, or just geographically distant from your friends and family. And that applies to me in both cases. But those aren't the only things that trigger loneliness. Getting the sense that you can't express yourself or that you're misunderstood can make you feel lonely, as can the fear of missing out. I don't ever really have a fear of FOMO. The fear of missing out is not a thing for me because sometimes I think I just do better in an environment where I'm not surrounded by a lot of people. I think that's one of the curses of anxiety. One day you can put me in a room with a ton of people and I'll be, completely open and happy and expressive and things like that. And then you put me in that very same room like a day later and I will shut off from the rest of the room and remain extremely quiet. So that's just like the gift and the curse of anxiety, I suppose. Of course, that's not an exhaustive list, but the point is that loneliness can happen to anyone at any time. And when it does, you can feel sad and disappointed with your reality, anxious like a reluctant loner, and even envious of people who have tight connections. See what I'm saying? Go back to that situation. One day I'm in the room, I feel fine. The next day I'm in the room, I don't feel fine. As a therapist who primarily works with adults experiencing depression and anxiety, I've seen this play out plenty of times. I mean, loneliness is so common that in 2023, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services declared that we're in an epidemic of loneliness. This is not surprising considering the fact that at that point we're removed slightly from the pandemic, or at least we perceive life to have gone back to normal. And a lot of people during the pandemic dealt with a situation where they were forced in a situation to deal with their loved ones and their family members because, we're on lockdown and we're in very, very tight and close proximity to each other. And then you find out, I don't really like you all that much, which, was a thing because a lot of people ended up getting divorced as a result of the pandemic. When you only have to see somebody so many hours out the day, it's like, oh, their little quirks and things like that don't bother you. When you had to deal with them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it seemed like there was no end in sight, those things might have annoyed you. So, coming out of the pandemic where everybody's able to go out to restaurants, to ball games, to public events and things like that and enjoy themselves, and then you don't have anything to do, then yeah, I can see where loneliness would creep in. Dealing with loneliness can be tricky. When you're feeling lonely, it can be tempting to sink deeper into it. Solitude typically calls for dimming the lights and queuing up your favorite tearjerker. Hi again, this is us, in parentheses. Or playlist a little Lana Del Rey and Frank Ocean for good measure, both phenomenal artists. It can feel cathartic to accept our lonely fate. It can also feel like the easiest option, especially compared to reaching out for help or saying what's on your mind. In the end, though, becoming too familiar with loneliness can lead to isolation, negative self-tank, depression, low self-esteem, and feeling kind of empty and stuck. On the flip side, you might be the type to push away uncomfortable feelings like loneliness and pretend they don't exist. That might look like constantly distracting yourself with endless screen time or surrounding yourself with people who aren't good for you. Maybe you don't even like them. Again, back to the pandemic. Just so you can have company, but avoiding or ignoring loneliness means you're not feeling your feelings and investigating what might help you pull out of this mindset. Say calling your best friend once a week or joining a rec league if you hate going home to a quiet apartment after work. So what can you do? There is a balance to be had here. To deal with loneliness in a healthy way, try to acknowledge it without internalizing it or getting bogged down by all the sad emotions. When thoughts like, quote, I'll never find people who truly understand me, so why try, which has happened to me, come up, take time to confront these feelings, give yourself a healthy dose of self-compassion, and create a plan of action and connection. And no, combating loneliness doesn't always have to involve throwing yourself into a pickleball league or texting a bunch of friends until someone responds. One way to deal with loneliness on your own is by giving yourself a pep talk and countering your negative self talk with more compassionate affirmations. These brief, encouraging statements have helped me and my clients pull ourselves out of many a funk. They can remind us that it's possible to feel more positive or even neutral emotions and empower us to make healthy changes to feel better. If it feels awkward and forced to look in the mirror and tell yourself you're awesome, worthy, and fun to be around, maybe you just haven't found the right mantra to validate and navigate your lonely feels. Don't worry, I've got plenty. Here's a virtual hug and some reminders that you can read, set as your screensaver, or say aloud to help you emerge from your solitude and maybe even learn from it. Again, there are 33, and I'm not going to read all of them. Number one, it's okay if feeling lonely makes you sad. These feelings are valid, but they're also temporary. Number two, sometimes feeling isolated is an opportunity to reflect on types of connections you truly crave. Number three, you are not alone in feeling lonely. Number four, you haven't met all the people who are going to love and support you yet, and that's a beautiful thing. It truly is. Five, if going out and finding community is the last thing you want to do right now, that's totally fair. Give yourself grace and patience. You are unique and deserve to be surrounded by others who recognize and celebrate that. Number seven, out there is waiting to find a friend like you. Someone out there is waiting to find a friend like you. Number eight, you are allowed to reach out for professional support even when you're, quote, just feeling lonely. Number nine, it's okay to miss people. And this is something that I've come to understand a lot in the past 6, actually 7, almost 8 months. And 10, and it's okay to tell people you miss them. So even if the relationship can be contentious at some times, it is okay to tell somebody that you do genuinely miss them. That may not yield any results as far as reconciling a breakup or reconciling a friendship that kind of went off the rails or anything like that, but it's okay to miss people, and it's okay for you to tell them that you miss them. That's life. Because, we pray to the dead. Hey, I miss my grandmother who passed away in January of 2008 very much. I miss my grandfather who passed away in December of '06 or '05. I can't remember exactly. I miss my uncle who passed away at the age of 33 years old. These are things that happen. I miss my brother, even though he's still here with us, but I can't pick up the phone and call him. I have to wait for him to call me. These are all very, very normal things, right? We are humans, and every single one of us has to deal with our own emotions, insecurities, and things like that. Every morning I get up at 5:30, except on the weekends, and sometimes even on the weekends. I get up to get ready for work, and I brush my teeth, and I stare at myself in the mirror. Maybe I should shave. Maybe I shouldn't shave. Maybe I should get a haircut. Maybe I shouldn't get a haircut. Jesus Christ, my lips are fucking big, but they've always been big my entire life. These are my insecurities, and unfortunately I have to deal with them. But that doesn't mean I'm any less perfect than anybody else. Understand this. We are all made in the image of God, and I am the most perfect imperfection that the Lord ever made, in my opinion. And so is my daughter, and my mother, and my brothers, and my sisters, and my best friends, and my former relationships, my former lovers. Um, you know, I love you guys. Some of you, I have to love you from a very, very far fucking distance, but that's okay, because my love is eternal. If I've loved you once, I will love you forever. Now, you may spurn me, and I may spurn you, but I'm always going to love you. There may be a little bit of hate mixed in there if you're the wrong type of person, and you may hate me, and that's perfectly fine. But this is life. Anyway, I will post the link with this article again on my Patreon. It will be public, so you don't have to be a subscriber to view it. But if you're looking for great content from me or my daughter, who needs to get back to work very soon, patreon.com/the Derrick Lamon Experience. Again, the link is in the episode details if you're on YouTube, and if you're viewing this on Instagram, the link is in the bio. Also on my Twitter. Believe in yourself first and foremost, because if you don't believe in yourself, of course, nobody else will believe in you. As always, my name is Derrick Lamon Jackson. I love you all. Y'all have a good one. Peace out.